Check, check, mic check. What's up, Jay? Play any golf this week?
No, I've definitely not been playing golf. I'm down from a surgery, but it is U.S. Open week, and I'm so excited.
I know. I'm just as excited. Let's get the show on the road then.
All right, man, let's go.
This is Golf Nation, the show that brings you interviews with the best and brightest people in the industry. Join us for a round as we learn about their life, business, and so much more. Golf isn't just about playing the game, it's about connecting with others and getting away from our everyday lives. Now here's your host and the CEO of GolfCritique.com, Jeremy Lee.
Golf Nation, what is up? Man, coming to you a little bit different this week. You're listening to episode 41 of the Golf Nation podcast. And as always, it's brought to you by GolfCritique.com. The best search engine in golf. So many things are happening with GolfCritique.com, but if you do not know, we have over 5,000 courses connected on a booking engine side that you can book completely for free. So the next time you go play, make sure you go to GolfCritique.com. It geo searches you right where you're at. You'll see what public and private or public and semi-private courses are available for play in your area, and you can book directly from our site. So many great things happening. Obviously, if you want to learn how to play this great game and want to get better, check out our instructors and resorts if you want to take a trip. But today is awesome because we have joining us today, we have an extremely talented and decorated player throughout her amateur career and is now competing on the Symetra Tour. A graduate of Clemson University, she was the first ever four-year starter in Clemson women's golf history. Only female in school history to win Elite 90 Award, which is an honor presented each year to an athlete with the highest GPA among participants at the national championship. Marisa won the honor in 2017 at the NCAA Women's Golf National Championship in Illinois. With 3 aces under her belt, numerous accolades, she was inducted into the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame in April of 2018 with a career 4.0 GPA. She is now on a quest to fulfill her lifelong dream of playing on the LPGA Tour. Please help me welcome Miss Marisa Messana. Marisa, how are you? And welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I've been excited.
Oh, it's so great to see you again. We met at the PGA show in January of 2020. And I must say, you are an incredible marketer. I can tell you're a smart girl because I keep up with kind of, in your newsletters and everything that you got going on.
Oh.
And we're definitely going to talk about that and the importance of building a network, especially as you're trying to make it to the LPGA Tour, because it ain't easy.
Absolutely.
Well, before we get into all that and really fill these juniors full of knowledge of the grind and the path that it takes to get to the LPGA Tour, I want to recap the Safeway Open. Oh my goodness, nobody saw this coming.
Not at all.
Sink. Oh my goodness, Risky. 47 years old.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just an incredible story. It goes 11 seasons, 2010 to 2020, only 15 top 10s, none of those being victories. I mean, his son caddying for him, like, incredible. Speechless. I mean, that's just kind of stuff in sports that you live to see, like, how great that is that he finally got it done.
Well,
after all
I
his
tell
family's
you,
been through and everything.
Most people know Stuart Sink of Rob and Tom Watson of his British.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, how would you like to be that guy? You're the guy who ruined history. But I mean, he probably doesn't care. He made a ton of money. And, I mean, you can't fault a guy for winning the British, but man, have you ever seen anything so, he wasn't even the story. He wins the British and everybody's talking about Tom Watson. So, yeah. And he's the king of the hat head. Has anybody seen hat head?
Yes. Yeah.
That's tough.
Quite fascinating. It looks like an ice cream cone.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
It is.
Oh man. Well, I mean, it was an interesting week for sure, starting off with the 1 hour delay for fog, and they needed
Mhm.
fog lights like on Wednesday, even
Hmm.
in the late morning to putt on the greens because of all the smoke and stuff. But I
Right.
guess it didn't affect too many people.
Yeah, I mean, the fires that are happening out there in California, our heart goes out to everybody who's dealing with that. That's always a tough, tough situation. And it was crazy. I mean, there were some crazy photographs. It was
Yeah.
like red and smoky. Have you ever played anything like that, Marissa?
No, not with those orange skies that I saw over in San Francisco. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was nuts. And that's, San Francisco is known for all of that fog and, low clouds. So I'm sure that the
Yeah.
combination of that and fire and everything that
Yeah.
was happening, it was pretty intense. But definitely some standouts this week. Higgs had that crazy albatross,
Yeah.
which kind of got him going, and he still ended up in second. So that was great. I hadn't even heard of the kid before this weekend.
Um,
You got some guys that have been around the tour for a long time with Reeve and Streelman. Obviously, both. So I think Streelman is a California kid. I don't know about Reeve. And then our pick for the week, Sam Burns. Man, I was feeling real good in the beginning. I was thinking, holy cow, Burns is going to pull this off. He come out lights out, and I thought we were going to have another great win. But he still did good, tied for seventh. And then the Carolina kid, another Carolina kid. Man, Carolina's starting to produce some good players. Akshay Bhatia is playing really strong. I mean, I remember when he came out, and we'll discuss this too. Your thoughts on, man, coming straight from high school
yeah.
and going to the PGA Tour. I mean, Marissa, is that the future?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely seeing that it's more common. That was a little bit of, I guess you would say, a controversial topic. When I was in high school, a lot of the girls would start homeschooling and then just going straight to playing professionally. But I definitely feel strongly that wasn't the best route for me and for most people. But for some, it does work. So it's kind of a lot of different factors to consider with those circumstances, I'd say.
Well, and for me, I can understand football. If you're good enough in football, if you're good in basketball, I could understand that because you have an injury, a more
Right,
prevalent injury possibility that
right,
you could lose your entire life your entire life career
right,
by an injury in college. Golf,
right.
I feel, is a little different. I mean, we're not going to
Yeah,
see the injuries of
Hmm.
that nature ruin a
right,
career.
right.
And so for me, I'm thinking, man, let these kids live a little bit. And I know these kids just want to make money. And honestly, let's
Right.
be honest, the reason we go to college is to make more money. So if you already have the skill set to make more money, why are we wasting time?
I
Yeah,
mean, to me, that's kind of you're valuing your paycheck over life experiences. I
right.
don't think I would ever go back and not do 4 years of college like just to make a
Yeah,
paycheck in the end. Those are
yeah.
4 great years that I will, I'm gonna remember forever. And these 18-year-olds thinking that they just want to make a fat check and go straight to the tour,
Yeah,
I don't really think they know what they're talking about personally.
yeah,
I
Like
know.
yeah.
it's
Well,
got
I
to
I
mean,
be
think
you've
from
got,
a developmental perspective, I mean, going to college is huge. I think as an athlete and
yeah.
as a person, it's a huge asset. I mean, these athletic programs have crazy resources, so why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Like 4 more years of competition under your belt. Yeah, there's always some things that you're going to have to work through in a team setting that you probably wouldn't have to if you just went straight to playing professionally. But from my perspective, that's all a part of life is getting through those obstacles and learning how to compete even in a team setting, even though that's not necessarily what our industry is all about. You learn
mhm.
so much from that. It's really invaluable, and so I feel very strongly that unless you're Tiger Woods already and at that point of your career, I say go to college, take advantage of those resources, get some wins, help your team. It's incredible. So
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
let's be
completely agree.
honest. Tell me one superstar that went straight to the tour that didn't go play college?
yeah, I think there's more on the girls' side. Lexi Thompson, she comes to mind first of all, but yeah, I think definitely it's more often than not you'll see that college is more of an asset than otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. I mean, you got Lydia Ko, and you got Michelle Wie. But I mean, me personally, I feel like all three of them would have been Tiger stature if they would have went to college. I don't think that they've lived up to the potential that they had. They could have dominated if they would have had those extra 3 years of prep to mature and to get their mind right and to just have experiences. Because I think you would attest to, if you are thinking about other things that you wish you would have done instead of just the daily grind. I mean, this is not an easy job. People who think that this is an easy job is lost. I mean, you got your private jet setters, and then you got your guys living out of your car.
Yeah.
Like there's very few in between. Like it's just you got to get to the top. Now, granted, all three of them have gotten there in an endorsement side of things, but I just look at it going, man, what 3 years of college would have done for those three girls.
Yeah, I agree.
So interesting. Well,
Jeremy, how'd the rest of the draft picks go?
We actually didn't do too bad. We didn't get in the money, but we're improving every week. And once again, people could have got a lot of free memberships this week if they would have just tagged us and played DraftKings with us this week. So I think we did okay. I think we came in like 8,900, somewhere around in there. So we, it's okay.
Right.
We're getting better, but we are talking US Open. I'm so pumped.
That's right. Major week.
But oh man, it's a crown jewel. That place is spectacular. It is one of the hardest golf courses that has stood the test of time. It's going to be interesting to see what the renovation did, that Gil did. But I will say, I am thinking it's going to be one heck of a test this week. That rough that they're showing is ridiculous.
5-inch rough. So this redesign in 2017 by Gil brought back over 22,000 square feet of putting surface. So there's going to be a lot of different pin positions that weren't possible back in 2006.
Right. And you remember 2006? 2006 was Jeff Ogilvy won, but it was pretty much Phil Mickelson lost it because he wouldn't just lay up. Like he was going for broke, but that's how he plays. He could have won that US Open back in 06, but there is no short. I checked the hardest courses on tour statistically, and Winged Foot was like number 6 ever.
Yeah, I believe it.
So,
those fairways are going to be hard to hit, and if you're not in the fairway, you're going to hit some long rough with no galleries to trample it down for you. It's going to be it's going to be tough.
It's going to be quite interesting. So we got another par 70. So they
actually changed that. That was 72, but they changed it to 70 and lengthened it out more.
Yeah, so now check out these numbers, Marissa. Par 70, 7,477 yards, 76.4 rating, 140 slope, A.W. Tillinghast design, and a 2017 Gilhan's restoration. I got a feeling.
You're not hiding behind that. You got to show up and show out.
I believe that it's going to show all the flaws of any player for the next 6 days. It is quite. It's going to be quite interesting. So, and it's such a weird year anyway, because I mean we're talking about the U.S. Open in September.
Yeah, I actually read the last time the U.S. Open was played in September was 1913.
Oh wow! For the war or something?
I don't even remember. I was just so astonished. Over 100 years it's been the same week in June, but yeah, crazy.
Well, it's going to be it's weird because we just started a new season, but yet we're still playing the U.S. Open from 2020. So it's
bizarre.
and it's going to get even weirder when we play the Masters in November. So I don't
Yeah.
even know what to say about that. That's mind blown or something. But 2019, Gary Woodland got his first major at Pebble Beach. Held off Koepka, which we all thought was going to win yet another one. And so is
hmm
Koepka in the field this week, or he skipped it. He is
No.
skipping it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kepka's withdrawn. Also, Scotty Scheffler
Yeah,
withdrew
what's up with that?
a positive COVID-19 test.
Oh,
Oh
wow,
man.
wow.
And he
Yep.
just
So
got
he's
rookie of the
out.
year.
Yeah, that was I really liked him for this week too, but so that kind of stinks.
Wow.
Well, I think it's going to be a fun week. I think you're going to see a lot of the tough guys out there, the guys who play tough golf courses. So we'll get into DraftKings and talk about who is going to be our picks for this week. I think it's just going to be a grind. If you remember, I think it was 6 over par won this last time it was at Wingfoot. 6
Jeez,
Yep,
over
that's
par.
correct.
it's unbelievable.
The last
It's insane.
five of the six U.S. Opens that have been at Wingfoot have been won with over par scores.
Wow.
Yikes. So I think at very best, I think the Gil Hanse design will change that a little bit. So I'm gonna say 2 under is gonna win it this week. I think
Okay.
I think you will see a little bit better scoring. So I think somebody will break par to win it, but I don't think it's gonna be crazy. I think it's gonna be
I'm
right there.
gonna I'm gonna bet against you and say it's gonna be an over par.
You think it's gonna be over par?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
So
From
we'll
what
see.
Justin
It's gonna be a
Thomas
lot of
said
fun.
after his round with Tiger, more than a few weeks back, but all of them who've been out there saying it's hard, but they're excited about it. It's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Nice. Well, let's go into DraftKings today, and then we're gonna get into all things Marissa and what's happening with her. But so this week this week is always tough because you got to try to figure out who's playing good, who's putting good, who's hitting fairways. I mean,
Mhm.
if I was a betting man, I'd say this thing sets up perfectly for Dustin Johnson. He's obviously the favorite this week. He's at the top of the list on the DraftKings. But remember, we only have $50,000 to play with, so we got to be a little strategic and we got to really feel who we're going to go after this week. So I was looking through DraftKings, and I'm always looking for guys who play well around when the scores are in that high 60s, low 70s numbers when we're going into a major. I don't want to see the guys that are playing well at a John Deere Classic that it's taken 24 under par to win the thing. Because I don't, you got your birdie guys that can just overload on birdies. And then you got your guys that are your grinders that can just mentally just break down a golf course and just survive and win. So this is going to be our suggestions for this week. And trust me, take them with a grain of salt because we haven't made any money yet. But
No,
I think we're getting better every week. And we're actually playing 2 good games this week. So we're going to play the $1 million game, and we're going to play the $250,000 game this week. So $1 million to the winner and $250 for the winner of the second game. So here's our pick for this week. First pick, we're going with 13 of 15 cuts, 1 top 10. Seems like he always plays good at tough events, Mr. Paul Casey. I think he has a lot of good I think he's got a lot of good history with the tour. He always plays good in majors. He always seems to play better on the tougher golf courses. So he's going to be coming in at number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, we're going with Dahmen. I'm a little questionable about this pick, but if you look at his stats on tough golf courses, he seems to always play good. He played really good at the BMW. And as you guys remember, the BMW was extremely hard. It was almost set up like an U.S. Open.
Yeah.
So I really like who played well in the BMW to play well here. The third pick, we're going to go with a guy that I did not know, but I looked at him. He plays on the European Tour. His name is Ryan Fox, and he's from, where is he from? He's from New Zealand, but his stats are pretty incredible, actually. 12 of 13 cuts, 2 top 10s. He's averaging about 73 points in DraftKings every week, or actually 69.9 points every week. And so I really like Ryan Fox. I hope he's not. I think that this is be his first U.S. Open, but based on his play, it looks like he always plays well when the score is closer to par. So we're gonna grab him to go in there. He was a really good value at $6,600, and felt like we could put him in there pretty good. Our fourth pick, we're going with Hatton. Hatton played incredibly well. He's got 9 of 10 cuts, 5 top 10s. His average is 69.2, and he played really, really well at the BMW. So that's going to be our fourth pick. Coming in fifth is my pick for the week, who I think is going to get it done, Mr. Jon Rahm. He won at the BMW. He has been playing really, really well. 14 of 15 cuts, 8 top 10s. Whew, he's making some money this year. He is stacking that cash. But he was the most expensive besides DJ at $11,000. And his scoring average is 68.8. Oh yeah, sorry. His points per is 87 and Hatton's is 83. His scoring average is 69.2 and then Rahm's is 68.8. Isn't that crazy? They're averaging 68.8.
I'd definitely say that Rahm is a value pick on that one over DJ. I mean, he's only like DJ's $500 more expensive than Rahm, but twice the odds of winning. I don't buy it. I don't think DJ has twice the chance of beating Rahm on this one. So if you're in DraftKings picking DJ over Rahm, I don't think that's a good move.
Well, we'll see, because it'll be interesting. Because remember, the last couple picks who won DraftKings did not have the winner of the tournament in there. So you got to be really strategic on how you do this. And then our final and fifth pick, our Steady Eddie. I don't know why we always go back to him, but he plays good on hard golf courses. He hits fairways. He's been playing really well. 12 of 14 cuts, 9 top 10, 68.1 scoring average. Carolina boy, Mr. Webb Simpson.
That's right.
So that is our picks for the week. Take them or leave them, but we will see how you do. As always, if you're playing along with DraftKings, all you have to do is go to Instagram at golfcritique.com. Let us know, tag 2 friends, let them know that you know about golfcritique.com. Go ahead and sign up for a free account. You're going to get into our $25,000 giveaway and a trip to Pinehurst, North Carolina to play great golf and bring a friend. And one of you is going home with 25 G's. Not too bad for a free sign up, huh, Marissa?
Love it.
Not too shabby. But if you beat us in DraftKings for the U.S. Open, and it's pretty good likelihood that you're going to beat us because we've been doing pretty crappy, that you literally get a free membership for the year, which is a $60 value, and then you can save up to 40% on perks for great partners all around the U.S. So we send out a perk email every week to let you know where the perks are. And if you're not a free member or you're not a $5.99 member, you're missing out because you're paying too much for golf. And remember, always have the peace of mind with golfcritique.com that we give 100% of all round revenue, perk revenue, back to the golf course. Why is that important? Why is that important, Risky?
Because we want to take care of our courses. We want to support the industry.
Absolutely. We want to support them. We want to make the golf courses better. We want to make sure the golfer has the ultimate experience when he plays golf through golfcritique.com. So once again, thank you so much for being a member. Make sure you go sign up. Once you get signed up and create a review of the last course you played, you're up for 25 G's and a trip to come see me down here in Pinehurst, which is not a bad place.
I'll be there too.
That's right. You get to even say Risky's bad swing, but his swing is getting better. So I think his swing will be way better by the time he gets
Hey,
to.
yeah, I think by time the contest rolls around, I think I'll be pretty good.
FaceTime me and I'll give you some swing tips and we'll make it happen.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I'll hold you to
All
that.
right. Well, let's talk. Let's talk Symetra Tour. Marisa Messana, we're so excited. I've gotten to know you a little bit, and we're going to get to know each other a lot more over the course of the year because we're going to talk about a new show that we got coming up. And I just want to start off by one. Let's talk about junior golf. Let's talk
Okay.
about how you got into the game. What drew you to the game? Why you started the game, and what kept you in the game all the way through college?
Yeah. I would say I started playing because my older brother played golf, and when I was growing up, I wanted to do everything that he wanted to do. So I saw him playing in tournaments, and I'm like, sweet, I want to get out there. So I was hitting the ball around a little bit, and I was pretty good. So I thought, okay, I played soccer and golf, and then I just kind of kept working towards it. I actually decided in seventh grade there was a high school that allowed the seventh and eighth graders to play on their high school team. So I transferred over there, and that was awesome. I mean, that was invaluable because I got to play with a lot of really solid players that are actually on tour now still. So just learning from them and kind of like always surrounding myself by my brother and the guys that were better than me and the high school girls that I grew up with was awesome. And then whenever I start doing something, I got to see it through until I'm like the best at what I do. So it just kind of went from there, like I was like, okay, let's be the best I can be in high school. And then through college and now I'm fortunate enough to where I'm in the position to where I can continue that. So yeah, it's been great.
Well, that is awesome. And that's really what it is you get to play this game and then you get hooked. And then you
Yeah.
get better and you get better and you get better. Let's talk about instruction a little bit. We're big into instruction. We believe that people who take instruction play more golf.
Yeah.
Tell us about kind of, how much instruction you had growing up, when you decided to really jump in to say, listen, this is going to be my career, and
Mhm.
talk a little bit about college and that experience.
Yeah, I would say growing up, I would get lessons regularly. I think, I started as a junior and I would do like weekly clinics. And then from there, I kind of broke off into, I actually worked with Martin Hall, who I'm sure many of you guys know from the Golf
Oh, yeah.
Channel.
Sure.
And that was a great foundation. He's an amazing coach. And so I would visit him every 6 weeks or so through high school. And then once I went to college, the coach that recruited me was incredible with working through, really kind of working closely with his players and helping with their swing and things like that. And having that guidance regularly is another asset that I really appreciated from, the athletic department and having someone who's literally there at practice with you every day, overseeing what you're doing and being able to, kind of keep you within bounds and or just continue, working on what it is that you need to work on. So I really benefit from that. Like there's some players that prefer not to do that and like to kind of keep to themselves. But for me, if that resource is there, I'm going to take full advantage and try to make the best of that. So I did that, and then I really learned last year that as much as that direction is invaluable from a professional perspective, you really need to kind of be dictating your own game. I think now it's at the point where I'm always going to rely on my coaches. I'm always going to make sure that I'm doing regular check-ins. But you kind of have to take ownership on knowing your swing, knowing yourself, knowing, when you get it back, when you go back to your tendencies that are always going to be your tendencies. I mean, literally, I'm working on the same things that I was working on when I was 15 years old with Martin Hall. It's like, it's crazy. It's true. And you try to recreate the wheel sometimes and you realize that you just got to keep it simple. And I mean, honestly, perfect example. 2 weeks ago now at my last event in Indiana, I was working on something different. I felt like I got in really solid work on the range the whole week leading up to it. We had an off week and my ball striking was just crap the week of the tournament. And I'm like, what's going on? Like I really felt like I had that, that trigger or key that I was working on and I just didn't execute. And so I called my coach, we sat down and he's like, dude, you're getting away from yourself. You know what you got to do to hit it well. So just stick with that. Stick with those three things that you just continually go back to. And that was great. Josh McCumber is within the McCumber family, very
Oh, yeah.
very involved in the golf world, and
Sure.
he's helped me really through my whole career. I think we started working together in ninth grade. And he was more of the type of coach that would go on the course with me and just kind of play, even though I had Martin as my swing coach, he would take me out there and say, okay, let's score. How can we apply these things on the course? And I've had a lot of different coaches that, I've helped over the years, but he's the guy that's been there through it all. And like I said, I spoke with last week and was just like, okay, how can we simplify this? Because, you really go out and you can get a little bit away from what you need to do, which really just need to keep it simple.
I know. Keep it simple. Risky, I tell you that all the time, don't I?
Sure.
Yeah. No, it's just about keeping, just go back to basic,
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
the best things that I try to tell like little kids, try to give them like a little 4-step thing to remember is, feet, target, a bottom out, left arm straight.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. Absolutely.
That's really, I got it like so ingrained in their head that they would just repeat that to me all the time. Feet bottom,
That's
left,
great.
feet bottom,
Yeah.
target left arm straight. So, it's just trying to figure out what, we can really drive into the head to really, because setup, to me, setup is the fundamental.
Yes, fundamentals are key.
Usually if your setup's off, we can pretty much tell that your golf swings, which direction that ball's going to go.
Right.
So, for you as an elite player now, somebody who's made it to a professional tour, how hard is it to go to that next level? How hard is it? Now you're on Symetra Tour. Now you're trying to make it to the LPGA Tour.
Yeah.
What is your goals? What are you trying? How quickly you're trying to make it there? Give our juniors kind of, okay, I've come into the Symetra Tour. Now it's going to take me this long to get to the LPGA Tour.
Right. Yeah, I would say most people say that it's about a 3 to 5 year process, to really get on the LPGA if you get there.
Wow.
But the Symetra Tour is also a big weeding system. I mean, you see a lot of girls that are trying to come out after college and going through Q school. And really it's like the strongest survive, and it's tough. It's brutal. There's a lot of different conditions and a lot of different factors that you have to be competent of handling. And it's not just golf, like sometimes the most talented, can't handle all of the different factors that you really do have to be able to maintain in order to be, competing at the highest level. So I would say, you really can't have a timeline on it. There's some girls that make it their first year, and then they stay on there. I haven't seen many, some girls that do make it that first year end up dropping back. I mean, there's some of the best players that I play with that have been on the LPGA for a few years now, but now they're back struggling where on the smaller tour, and it's a continual grind. Like you've never made it. You always got to stay on top of your game. And for me, I think I can't really set a timeline, especially with COVID this year. The opportunity for us to earn status on the Symetra Tour to the LPGA is actually on pause. So we're competing this year. Yeah, so we're competing this year and we can win money, but we're not, whatever status we earned last year, we're going to start right back with next year, regardless of how well we play. So like I said, I can't really have, a concrete goal on what my, process or what my journey is going to look like. But I think it's just a matter of improving day after day, as cliche as that sounds, it's like really just trying to continue to make those improvements in small ways and having those small process goals that I'm all about that will lead to that ultimate end goal. And then just kind of trusting that if you take care of those small controllables, it'll play out the way that you need to.
Freaking COVID, man. COVID just screws up everything.
Seriously.
God bless. Well, we wish you the best of luck on the Symetra Tour. I know, it's a grind. Even especially on that level I mean, you're just bouncing from house to house. You're bouncing from tournament to tournament. It's not a glamorous lifestyle. I imagine. Can you touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes with any industry, and that's something that really drives me is just kind of putting in that work that it takes to get to the highest level. And I've met countless people in different industries, and it's like, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that I think people that goes unseen, and they just assume like, oh yeah, she's great, she's gonna make it, whatever. But it's no, it's through the work that you get to where you want to be. And so I kind of really want to advocate for that mentality of showing off the work ethic, the holistic habits, and everything that it takes to be successful. And I think that, if people applied that to their own lives, it's amazing the things that you can achieve. So So that's something that I think has kind of been forgotten now, is that, that desire for work ethic and that drive that I love. And so, I'd like to see where that takes me.
Well, I think you're well on your way. I think you're, we always say it takes a great mind to make it on tour, and you're obviously a
Yeah.
smart girl,
Oh,
and
thank
you got to balance everything in your life. You got to
Yeah.
balance, your outside, your things that are going to pull you away from the game, to
Yeah.
kind of say, you know what, sorry, I can't do that this week. I got to practice.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to have a one goal in mind, and
Yeah.
really take it and sacrifice a lot. Do you feel like you've
Yeah.
sacrificed a ton?
Yeah, I mean, you can say that however you want. I mean, some people say sacrifice, but for me, it's like I know what I want, and so if I get that end goal, then it's all worth it. But also just enjoying the process on the way, and knowing that for me, working towards something means the world. Like I wouldn't want it any other way. I think that drives me, and that means way more than taking the easy route that I could have just, without outside of the golf industry. So yeah.
Very cool. Well, you and Risky are working on a brand new show, which we're very, very excited to announce. We haven't even came up with a name for it yet. We got to work on that. So,
Yeah, what?
go ahead, Risky.
Huh? What?
I said,
I
go
lost
ahead.
you there for a second.
Well, this show is going to be really cool because we're going to kind of follow your journey. Really just kind of get the insides and outs of, your travel, we practice, really kind of the cool places that you're going to visit, what do you do while you're there? I think this is going to be really great for the kids that are coming out, that say, oh, I want this lifestyle. I want this life, because it's really going to show them that it's not all glamorous. There's a lot of hard
Yeah.
work that goes into it, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
grind that goes into it. And
Yeah.
we're just really excited. I talked to a couple other instructors about what we were doing, and they were so excited about it because it was really an inside look to making it to the LPGA Tour, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, thanks. I
Well,
think it'll be
Risky,
fun. I
yeah, go
think
ahead.
that the thing that's most exciting about it is, like I said, I'm huge on promoting the work ethic and the holistic habits, and so it'll be good to see. You got to do what it takes to get the job done, and I'll do anything. So it'll be comical, I'm sure, because some people will say, "Wait, you do that?" And it's just the obstacles that you get into, or the positions that you find yourself, are just crazy, and you can just cry of frustration, or you can laugh and say, this is ridiculous and this is making me stronger and better. So I think it'll be fun to showcase that a little bit. And I know when I see those things of other people that are working towards doing something at a high level, it drives me to do it, and it kind of fuels my fire. So I hope that it'll do the same for others.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you should get into, I can't wait to have you talk about on the show, like all the other things that you're doing to promote yourself, the newsletter, like everything that you're getting. But we'll let them watch the show and kind of get the insides and outs of everything you're doing. You've done an incredible job. I mean, I look at the list of
Thank you.
people that support you, and it's pretty incredible that I think that that's going to turn into a really long-term success for you.
Thank you.
All right, Risky. Well, another one
Yeah.
in the books.
Another one in the books. Yeah, it was a
Well,
weird one, not in the normal studio, but
oh yeah,
I
I didn't
didn't
even.
kind of like it like this.
No, don't
Means
even
I
get
don't have
used
to
to it.
be
You still
right
gotta
and
come to the
smelling
studio.
you.
Hey, I always smell good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know.
Well, hey, I
Not
did want to
right
give
now.
Marissa. I did want to give you the opportunity to give a shout out to all, how people can follow you, how people can get in touch with
Thanks.
you if they're interested.
Yeah, definitely. If you go ahead and follow my Instagram account, it's just my name, Marisa Messana, Marissamessana. All, you can go ahead and follow along there. And then also, if you email me, I can add you to my monthly newsletter that I send out. And that email is on my Instagram account. You can just go ahead and shoot me your address, and I'll add it on. And you can follow along.
Very, very cool. All right, Risky.
Awesome. Yeah, well,
I'm
everybody.
glad we have you in Nashville, but back in the studio next week, right?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's fun, but yeah, I'm ready to get back as well and play with my roadcaster. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed Marilyn over my shoulder the entire time.
I
I
love
know
it.
I enjoyed looking at her myself. But make sure you check out the show on Golf Hub if you're not watching it there already. You definitely should be. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram is at Golf Nation Podcast, and Facebook is at Golf Nation Pod. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for Jeremy or myself, send us a DM on Instagram, or you can send us an email at info@golfcritique.com, and it'll go straight for me. That's all I got for him, Jay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much, Pat. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
It's so great to have you. And we'll be back next week with another great episode of Golf Nation Podcast. But until then, learn as much as you can, live your life to the fullest, and play golf forever. I'm Jeremy Lee for Risky in Nashville and Marissa on the Symetra Tour. Thanks. This is Golf
Bye,
Nation.
guys.
See you on the team.
Peace.
See ya.